Okay, so we're gonna plan for our week. And I want it to be as simple as possible, but we also have to think about what works best for each person. So whatever I do, you don't have to do it exactly the same. You can just kind of make it up as you go. But before we get started with planning, I kind of want to ask you guys a question because I know that a lot of times people are like, oh, I can't really plan in advance. I kind of like more of a uh like an on the spot like person. And I just like the quote always comes to my mind when I hear somebody say that is if we don't plan to, or if we don't plan to whatever we plan to fail, basically. Like, so if we don't set ourselves up, like we're not planning, we're going to plan to fail. So if you can either raise your hand or like drop it in the chat, like if you like how many times have you gotten to where throughout the week, like you set off on Monday to like be your best and do your best. And then the week happens and life happens, you know, maybe kids or whatever happens. And then you don't end up doing the things that you said you were going to do. You fall off, you uh maybe go a little bit less than what you said you were going to, like that happens, right? You know what I mean? We have that happen all the time. But if we set ourselves up for success, right, and we have a plan. Oh, Rachel just messaged me, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I can't ever get that right. But that's so true. And that's why like sometimes I feel like I'm being super anal, like about like having to have this like all set out for me. But if I don't do this, I won't do certain things. Like this past week, I didn't put up opportunity stories. You want to know why? Because I wasn't prepared. And then I would forget because I didn't have it set up how I normally have it set up. So I'm just going to go through with you guys and show you exactly what I do. And then you can either choose to, you know, utilize it or maybe find something that would work good for you. I do plan all 7 days. So like I don't type out a post or anything like that, but I know what I want to put out there for the week. So first I want to start off with goals for the week. Okay. So we're going to make 5 goals for the week. They can be big, they can be small. They don't have to be exactly like all business related. Sometimes I put on there like my goal for the week is to stay on top of my laundry. Okay, so like it's not always business related, but like 5 goals that you want to accomplish this week that are realistic but will push you. Does that make sense? Okay. Um, so we'll take a couple minutes and write those out. I have 2 of them already. I want to do 3 promoters on packs this week. And I want to sell 7 samples, and I'm going to do a sample sale for $15. So that would bring $105 in sample cash for the week. So that's those are my 2 goals so far. Hey Angela, we're going to plan for our week. So we're starting off, you're hopping on right at the right time. We're going to start off with planning 5 goals for the week. Okay, so
Okay.
have to be always business related. Like I said, sometimes I put on my goal like to stay consistent with my laundry. Okay, so like it doesn't have to be like all business, but just 5 main goals that you can feel accomplished by the end of the week by getting those done.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so my 5 goals for the week: 3 promoters on packs, 7 samples sold with my $15 sale that I'm going to do, and then 1 load of laundry each day, go live 3 times, and then grow my Instagram following by 100. So those are like my 5 goals for the week. Now, after I plan those 5 goals for the week, then I set out a habit tracker. And you can do this. I have a planner now that has it in it, but when for so long, what I did is I took a notebook like this on my just plain piece of paper, and I wrote out what it was that I wanted to do. And then I made check boxes so I could check them off as I completed it. For me, I'm a real pen to paper kind of person. It makes me stay on track. So if you like it better to have something in your phone where you can check it off, you could try to make something that way. But for me, I like to track it this way, so that I can check that I'm doing it every day. So for me, things that I want to complete on a daily basis is like I try to make one reel and one TikTok I make, they're obviously the same thing. But I make one of those a day. So I would put that on my habit tracker. And then every day, as I open my planner, I would check it off whenever I finish it. Go live 3 times a week, then I'll put that on there live. And so I'll check it off on whichever days I do it. And that way I can keep track and hold myself accountable to whether or not I did the things that I said I was going to do. Okay. So laundry will be one of them for me. Like I'm just saying, we just keep track of those things. So make five main habits that you want to do for your life, business, whatever this week. And then make your little check boxes or however you want to do it on your phone or whatever, to check them off.
Can I ask for some ideas? When you say 3 lives a week, like what would you focus on? How do you change that up other than, okay, here are the 3 steps?
Honestly, like I go live about a bunch of different stuff. So like sometimes I hear something in my self-development and I feel like I want to share that. Or, I'll go live and just talk about like kind of like my story, or maybe something that I had struggled with, or maybe a funny moment that happened. Like, I mean, you can literally go live about anything. It doesn't even have to really be business related, because at the end of the day, like you don't want to be all business. Like you want to be Angela, right? You want people to know who you are, and you build a business based off of who you are. And that's why people come to you, because they know, like, and trust you, right? So just
Yeah.
on there and being able to, you know, do, get to see who you are outside of, Thrive. That's really important. So going live in general, just about anything. Sometimes I just show my kids being crazy or whatever. Like, honestly, I've fallen off on doing live, so I can't really like speak on it at this moment. I used to be really, really good at it. But every single time I go live about the business, somebody's in my inbox. And every single time I go live about the products, somebody's in my inbox. And so like it's like that is a power place, because people can read posts all day long. They see them, they scroll through, right? They're scrolling on their phone, and a live stands out way more because they can see your voice, they can see your face, and they can hear your voice, and they see your excitement. So really just whatever. Like for me, I don't really plan what I'm going to go live about. I'll just randomly be like, okay, I'm going to go live, because if I do plan what I'm going to go live about, it makes me kind of sick.
Okay. Yeah.
So I kind of just play it by ear throughout the week. And like, if I'm like, ooh, that really inspired me, let me go talk about that or whatever, then I just hop on a live.
Okay. Okay. That helps. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Another thing that I've been really trying to commit to is doing work with me Zooms, because I am home. So there's no reason why I couldn't get on one. It's not like I have a job to go to. And even though like I've been in this industry for 4 years, like I still learn things whenever I get on those. And it really does help you to like stay on track when, completing your IPAs. And so they have early ones. For me, I'm an early riser. And so I'm hosting Tuesday mornings, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday last week, I was able to get on one. I was on one every single morning, and it really set me off, like set my day off right. I was like basically done with everything except for just like, randomly posting on my story, responding to messages and things like that. So if you guys can work into a work, look at the work weekly schedule and see what can work for you, I would highly suggest trying to get on at least like 2 of those a week if you can. Because they really do help. You'll find a lot of different tips that you can utilize and be like, dang, I didn't even think about it that way, and so you're able to feel better about things. All right, let me finish this really quick. Okay, so my 5 habits that I'm going to do this week, laundry every day, complete a reel on TikTok every day, go live 3 times, and also transfer that over to an Instagram TV. 10-4 work with me Zooms Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then read daily. So as I complete those things, I'll check them off, and then that helps me feel like good, because I don't know if you guys ever beat yourself up for not doing enough. A lot of times I focus on what I haven't done instead of what I have. And so for me doing this, it really helps my mind to be like, okay, no, you may not have completed that, but look at what you have done. You know what I'm saying? So this really helps me with my mindset in that way. So I'm not beating myself up. The next thing that we will do is I basically kind of plan out my content in a sense. Okay. So I don't write out posts. If you guys have been here, I think Angela is the only one who doesn't know this. I write every single post that I ever make on Facebook in my notes section on my phone. So I have every single post I've ever made over 4 years in my phone. So I have so much content that if I were to be super busy one week, I could go back through my phone and utilize old posts, and just like switch them up a little bit. So I have that to fall back on, but I don't usually utilize that very much. But like I said, I don't pre-write my posts because I feel like that's a lot of pressure on myself. I don't have enough creativity to sit here and do that. But what I do have enough creativity is to think of like, okay, let me look at my page, because so we're about to open your Facebook. Okay, so get your Facebook opened up, go to your Facebook and look at what you posted this week. Okay, how many times did you post about the opportunity? How many times did you post about the products? How many times did you share your family? How many, how many times did you share your 5s? Those things. Really look at your stuff, kind of audit yourself and see what you posted. And then you're going to now go to your thing this week and you're going to decide, okay, so I really focused heavy on customers last week. I posted about that 4 times. This week, I really need to kind of balance that out a little bit more. I'm going to try to maybe on Tuesdays, I can talk about payday. You know what I mean? You can figure out how you can like break things down. And remember, every single day, you don't need to be posting on your timeline about Thrive. Okay. Every single day does not need to be about Thrive. You can post like Mondays could be like mindset Mondays, and maybe it can be like an inspo post about something that you learned from your self-development or something, and then Tuesdays you could focus on payday. So that would be a business opportunity post. Wednesdays, you could do like wellness Wednesdays where you talk about, what the products have done for you, whether it be physical, or, whatever, however they helped you mentally or whatever they've done for you. You could talk about that then. Thursdays, you could be, thankful Thursdays, maybe talk about somebody in your family or whatever, something that's going good for you, and share a piece of your life so that people can get to know what's going on in your life a little bit. So those are the kind of things that I do. I like do that out. Do I stick to it every single week? Absolutely not. Some days I'm like, I don't even have, maybe it's a thankful Thursday and I'm pissed off at my husband, so I can't do all that. You know what I'm saying? So I got to switch it up a little bit. Like we don't have to stay on it like 100%, but it's a good guide to fall back on when you're feeling like a literal psycho and you don't know what you're doing, so that you don't just say, you know what, F this, because most of the time that's what's going to happen. You're going to just say, you know what, I'll just skip today. I'll do it tomorrow. And that inconsistency, it hurts so much. It does way more damage than, even just showing up in a small capacity. So this is why I do this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for you guys. If you guys want to just go through and write out, if you want to, you don't have to obviously, but plan some topics of things that you maybe want to go over. If you want to plan for days, you can.
Audrey, I have a question.
What's up?
Okay, so the goal is to post every single day or
I
what?
I mean, in a perfect world, yes. It
Hmm.
doesn't always happen, but it is better. I mean, if you have this kind of plan, it's going to make it to where you can do that every day. Now, it doesn't, like I said,
Right.
I don't want you to post about Thrive every single day. No. But I do think that you should show up in some form or fashion on your timeline so that people can see your face, so that your face isn't
Yeah.
gone for 2 days and then you come back for one and then you're gone for a week and then you're come back, because that inconsistency shows, so
Makes you look flaky.
yeah, because even if you're there just saying like, look how cute my baby is, like people can see you, you know what I mean? They know you're there.
So we don't have to have like, I think I put pressure on myself that every time I post something, it has to be like a super long caption. I
No.
think maybe that's the problem with me, where I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to say today?
Think it and don't feel like you need to like go into like so much detail. Sometimes it's just like so simple, like the other day I think I posted, I'm gonna go look it up, but I posted something like them, God, I don't remember what I wrote, but it doesn't have to be long. Just like right here, I just showed that I was reading a self-development book. You can't see it, sorry, my phone's too bright. But it says just addicted to becoming the best version, and like 10 out of 10 recommend this book, right? So people know like I showed up, I'm doing, you know what I mean? I'm there. Is it big and long? Absolutely not. Another thing too, like one day you're going to tell the story of how you overcame and it'll be someone else's survival guide. Like that doesn't have anything to do with business, but it's like inspiration, right, for people. Um, so it doesn't have to be like, no, you don't have to put pressure on yourself to write a
It doesn't
big
have to be eloquent.
no. You can just show up and just write some sassy comment or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm also trying to post a lot more of like things that I think are funny, or like pictures of like my family and stuff. Cause I noticed that I get into a rhythm and then like every time I show up to post, I'm posting like something in depth of like the business or something really, like something really inspirational, like from my life or whatever. And I'm not just being me, like, cause that's not really me, I'm pretty goofy and silly and, like those kind of things. And so I need to show my personality a little bit more that way. So I've been just trying to like show up and like post silly memes. Like I don't share anything because that hurts your algorithm, but I will save them to my phone and post it myself. And just like random, like my dogs and things like that, so you don't have to always post and be so serious. So you can do an interaction post. Like I posted my kid was always naked and it was really fun to interact with people. Those are amazing. So if you need to boost your engagement, people always love to, one, share their opinion, and two, like share funny things about whatever, like if they have something similar. So kids are an amazing thing because a lot of people have kids and they like to share what they do, like the funny things that they do. But maybe like even saying something like, I don't like to ask for like recommendations for like shampoo or nothing, because then you're gonna get try people that are trying to sell you stuff. But I do like to ask like, oh my gosh, I just finished this, series. Like, what's a good series in Netflix? People will there will be hundreds of comments on there because people love to say their opinion. And so when you ask for opinions on something, people will give it to you. And when you get that many comments and then you're commenting back, that's boosting your algorithm so much. More people are going to see your stuff. So if you do one of those at night, it's going to boost your algorithm for the next day. Does that make sense? So yes, hopefully that's helpful. Okay. So now that we kind of got like an idea of what we're gonna do for the week, right? For posting. One of the biggest things that I've started doing that really, really, really helps, and I didn't do it this past week and it showed in my work ethic, is if you can create an album in your phone. Okay, so start a new album and I create one every week and then I delete it at the end of the week, so that I don't have just like a million albums, right? But I create a new album What the heck? There we go. New. And I just titled it this week. And so when I do that, I pull up my opportunity stories that one I've already created, or typically on Sunday nights while I'm watching my Desperate Housewives, I create content while I'm sitting here watching TV. So before I go to bed, I'll probably create like, 3 or 4 new stories that I'm going to put out. Another thing that I was talking to Roxy about opportunity stories, you don't have to make them 16 slides long. Nobody's going to trek with you. Okay. Literally keep it under 6 slides. Nobody wants to trek through and see those little tiny little things. And they're like, oh God, this girl was on here way too much, right? It's overwhelming. So just under 6 slides, just, simple to the point, whatever. It doesn't have to be like, and I struggled, and like, you don't have to get so serious all the time. We can just present the business, okay? Present the opportunity, and every day you should be putting up an opportunity story, and so should I. Okay, we should all be putting up opportunity stories daily. I know sometimes people are like, oh, I don't really want to do it every day because I don't want to like annoy people. It's like, this is your job. This is what you're doing. So if you want to make money, we have to present the opportunity daily. Some people that saw it yesterday, maybe today they didn't see it yesterday, right? So now they're getting another eye on it. And the more that they see it, the more interested they become. So it's the repetition is important. To us, it feels repetitive. To them, if it feels repetitive to them, they can unfollow you. Who cares? So you're not here to please people. You're here to just do what you're supposed to be doing. So create this album in your phone called This Week. Move all of your opportunity stories, 7 days worth of opportunity stories into this. You can use previous ones that you've already created. I like to create a few each week, so that way I always have tons. So in my phone, I have a folder that's opportunity stories, and I have every single opportunity story I've ever made in there. It's massive. So I can go pull from that, which makes it a lot easier, right? When I'm not feeling creative, that I can just go pull those for the week. And sometimes when they're like, when I'm a little bit chunkier in those ones, but I really liked that, then I go remake it with new pictures of me. Or if I had brown hair in it and now I have blonde hair, I just go redo it with my blonde hair pictures. So like you can take from your old ones and just make new ones with more updated pictures so that they look new. So you move them all into this week's category, and that way each day when it's time for you to go put up your story, you just go to that file, right, in your thing, you pull up that, open that on Instagram and just upload it, right? And then you're done. It's like no brainer, so simple. That way you're not overthinking or feeling overwhelmed. It's just, you're getting it out there. Another thing that I put in this week's folder is if I have pictures, like let's say I want to do like a product story or a samples, because I plan on selling samples, like really hustling some samples this week, then I'm going to have sample content and I'm going to put it in there so that when I'm ready to go put up my sample content, I just go to this week's folder. I'm not having to try to scroll through my phone or try to create content when I'm busy, because I'm busy during the day. My kids take up a lot of my time. So if I don't do this, I know it's not going up. So if we're setting ourselves up like this every Sunday night, it probably takes me like 2 hours realistically to sit here and do that. But 2 hours is saving me from, one, being inconsistent, and two, I would saving me a lot of time during the middle of the day while my kids are being wild and WWE smackdown on each other. And I don't have time for that. Like I won't put it up. I won't get it done. So this is going to set you up, especially even people who work and stuff. If you guys have a job or you're going to be going back to your job, like this is a way to make sure that you are able to get those things out there and you're organized rather than feeling flustered, because the more flustered we feel, the less likely, the less motivated we feel to really continue, right? We're like, oh, this is too much. I'll just do it later. And then we don't do it. So put all that stuff into your this week folder. And then once you've done that, obviously create some stories and stuff if you want to this evening, whenever you get off of here, and then you can put it all in there. Sometimes I even take my content pictures. Like if I know, like I took a few pictures, like I spend usually 1 day a week just taking pictures of myself. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but I do. I actually make a lot of reels all at one time too. So I'll batch reels, and I just leave them in my drafts. And that way, when it's time for me to post one, I just pull from my drafts and it's already there. So 1 day a week, I'll take pictures. 1 day a week, I'll do, reels. And sometimes I don't do that. Sometimes I try to make the reel every day, like on the day. But then how many times have you woken up in the morning and just had an off day and you don't feel like it? that happens to me on a regular. I'm like, dude, I can't with you guys. Like, I don't feel like doing any of this. And so then I don't do it. And then I'm not growing, I'm not organically growing my Instagram following and all those things. Like, there's important reasons why we don't want to fall off of doing those things. So if you're pick a day, like let's say, Tuesdays are, you're home and you have time. So then pick Tuesdays, get ready on a Tuesday instead of sitting in your jammies all day, get ready and, put on different outfits and go outside of your house and sit on your couch and do what, I'm saying? Like, go in different places and take pictures. I swear to God, my neighbors probably think I am the weirdest person in the world. I straight take my selfie light outside into my driveway. I am doing reels. I am out there like, dancing. Like, they probably are like, what does this freaking lady do? Like, because I swear people are like walking their dog and I'm over here like getting out of my Beamer, like, what's up? I don't even care. But that sets me up for the week, right? Like, I have all of that stuff done. So Mondays are typically the day that I get like my house clean. So I clean my house on Mondays and then I will start doing like the content and stuff. So, but I have all of that from last week to come over to this week. Does that make sense? So you kind of overlap. Anyways, I hope this was helpful. That's basically all I do. Does that make sense? That's basically it. I just plan out the topics, get my stuff all in one folder so that I have it all set up, create some content, and then set up my goals for the week and set up my habit tracker so that I can track myself. I always like to on Sunday nights go through and look at my stuff. If you don't know, you can go on your Instagram and you can look at your story archives. And what that is like every story that you've ever posted is in there. Do you guys know that? So you can open up your archive and you can see all of those. And I will go back to the Monday prior. So that this Monday that just passed, and I'll start there and I'll flip through all my stories and I will like basically like rate myself. How I did, how much I showed up, how many times did I post one opportunity story every day? Did I talk in my stories? Was I sharing my life? Was I also sharing these things? So like I look and see, and so I kind of pick apart like, okay, I didn't show up there. So let me make sure that I have this ready so that I don't not show up there again. Does that make sense? So I kind of just like audit myself at the end of the week. So that way, when I'm going into the next week, I know what I need to be a little bit more strong on or pat myself on the back for what I did really well. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically it. Does anybody have any questions? Was this helpful? Next, I want to try to do these on Sunday nights where we can just get together and kind of like hang out and create content and, kind of plan our weeks and stuff. I think it's a fun way for us to get together where it's not like a training setting. This was more of a training setting because we've never done one of these together and I've never really shared with you guys like how I plan. But I'm going to do this again next Sunday night and we can kind of just like hang out and, we can kind of like talk and stuff, which will be fun. So yeah. All right. I'm glad you loved it, Rachel. All right. I'm glad it was helpful. So I'm going to hop off here. I only got 4 hours of sleep last night. My son, who's a Marine, he was in town and we stayed up till like 2:30 in the morning. I literally am an old lady. I go to bed at like 9. So 2:30 in the morning was like outrageous. And then my husband, he never gets drunk and he was like wasted. And then he had to get up at 6:30 this morning to take him to the airport. And so it's just been a really long day. And so I'm going to go to sleep. But I hope that you guys get all set up and that this week, every single one of you that's on here, you can just feel super good about just showing the way you're showing up and, your consistency, because when you take action, that builds your confidence in yourself. That consistency will breed confidence, and that confidence is what sells. So it's just the inspired action is what we need to do. So, all right, guys, I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.